Hi everyone, it's Reena Jadhav, and today we're talking about fasting. Why? Because it's everywhere. You can't read news today without coming across something around fasting, whether it's intermittent fasting or, of course, a couple of different kinds. So here to tell us the truth about fasting is Dr. Joel Kahn. Dr. Joel, welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Very, very exciting topic. That wasn't part of my language 5, 10 years ago, and never has been a part of cardiology language to this day. But whoa, strong science. I mean, this is not new age, minerals or jewels, or I don't want to offend anybody that's into stuff. This is like NIH funded research. Can we improve our life, extend our life, avoid heart disease and other illnesses using fasting, including cancer, diabetes? So if the NIH just announced this weekend they're putting an extra $10 million into a fasting program at the University of Southern California, maybe we should talk about it right now.
I agree. That makes perfect sense to me. So what are the different kinds of fasting and why does it work?
Well, if you're a scientist, you say fasting is not eating for more than 36 hours. But most of us are not talking about that kind of period. And some will. There is a tradition going back 100 years of using water fasting. Not a lot of published data, but actually nothing but water, lying in bed, not very active. There are centers that use this to treat all kinds of serious illnesses, from heart disease to diabetes to obesity to cancer to connective tissue, lupus kind of cases. Take a look at a place called True North in Santa Rosa, California, if you want to learn more about that. I've had no experience doing a prolonged water fast or being part of one, but I know people that have and feel quite remarkable during it. There are people that use it as a weight loss tool. Have to be very careful. You may get weak. You may lose muscle mass. If you're elderly, I would be very cautious. So what else is there? There's something called time-restricted feeding. That's an idea that from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., my kitchen's closed, my pantry's closed. Some people extend that beyond 12 hours. I'll eat dinner at 7 p.m. I won't eat again until 11 a.m. So that stretches out to about 16 hours, and try to eat 2 or 3 meals within 8 hours. These can seem to, one, drop the number of calories a day you eat, which is consistently in animal models. The fewer calories a day you eat to a point, the longer you live if you're an animal. If you want to take a rabbit or a mouse or an earthworm and you want it to live longer than its mate in the cage, you just feed it less, it'll live longer. Why? Because we think when we are stressed by decreased calories, our body turns on protective and reparative mechanisms that actually make our bodies younger and more able to heal and deal with stress. And that's really why all this excitement is going on about fasting. In England, there's something called the 5-2 diet, or the FAST diet, by Dr. Michael Mosley. 2 days a week, Monday and Thursday, you don't eat much, maybe 500 calories a day. The other 5 days a week, you eat a healthy Mediterranean or plant-based or maybe even a paleo clean diet, and that's helped a lot of people. But here we go. The real excitement comes from an author and a scientist. This is a book I'd recommend anybody consider reading. I have it all over my office, many copies. Dr. Longo is a PhD at the University of Southern California. Book came out in January 2018, Longevity Diet. He's been studying both why we age, get sick, get old, and can fasting interrupt that. And he's come up with a unique diet plan called the Fasting Mimicking Diet, FMD. So 5 days in a row. This is totally different than anything else in the world is doing. 5 days in a row, once a month. That means 25 days you eat your healthy Mediterranean plant, maybe a paleo diet. 5 days in a row, you drop your calories. The first day is 1,100, the second day through fifth day are 800 calories a day. You have to calculate it. You don't, because all the food's in a box. You literally buy this program from the University of Southern California. It's called Prolon, Prolon. The ingredients in the box happen to be plant-based, which was a victory. Happen to be real food, not cans of corn syrup mix like you might get Ensure at a hospital, and are very low in protein, low in sugar, and relatively high in whole fats from olives and nuts and complex carbohydrates. Very carefully researched and picked by Dr. Longo to slow down aging pathways and turn on reparative pathways. He started experimenting with this more than a decade ago. Every animal model lives longer. Every animal model shows signs of healing. You study this in cancer models. There's better recovery from chemotherapy and response in animal models, I stress. Brain diseases, multiple sclerosis, dementia, on and on. A year ago, a 100-patient human trial was published doing this, showed that you get thinner around the waist, you lose fat around the waist, you don't lose muscle, blood sugar, blood pressure, blood cholesterol come down, inflammation comes down, and maybe most remarkably, something called your stem cells start coming out of your bone marrow to go anywhere in the body and look for places to heal. A bad hip, a bad brain, whatever it is. So I learned of this. I've done this many months out of the last 15 months now. I've had parts of my body that were aching, like plantar fasciitis, just stop aching.
Wow.
Plus weight loss, plus blood values, plus blood pressure down. And many of my patients have seen the same. It's actually literally a commercially available box. It's a little pricey, but we tend to spend on average $30 to $40 a day on food in this country. This food program, which is science-based, is just a touch more than that. But boy, the results have been pleasing. So the fasting mimicking diet by Dr. Valter Longo, I think it says right there, fasting mimicking diet.
Sure does.
It's known as Prolon. Again, if you're in a rut and you're trying hard and you've changed your diet, you're trying to work out, and you're trying to sleep, and you're trying to breathe, and you're trying to meditate, and you still feel like you're up against the wall and you want to break through, fasting in general, maybe this time-restricted feeding of going 13, 14, 12 hours without eating every day is a good schedule. But this 5-day program, whether you do it just 1 month or, as Dr. Longo would recommend, 3 months in a row and see what the results are at the end of 3 months, could be the thing that, you know, puts you where you want to be weight-wise, inflammation-wise, energy-wise, blood pressure-wise, general health-wise. Not exactly a detox program, much more science than a detox program. I mean, this is literally the hottest and most supported science, using food truly as a tool to make our bodies better.
Almost sounds like a reset diet, right? Like it's literally getting your body.
He will tell you that. He will actually, Dr. Longo will say this really does reset your metabolism.
Okay.
And you're not just getting benefits for 5 days, you're getting benefits for much longer. Their research study checked people 6 months after finishing the program. There still were measurable improvements.
Wow.
Now, how many diseases will we be able to treat with this? Right now, none. And we don't talk about treating disease with this program, but it's being studied. So there are ongoing trials in cancer, multiple sclerosis, dementia, type 2 diabetes. Until the studies are done, this is really just a rejuvenation sort of play. But maybe one day, not that long down the road, we'll talk about using this particular program to actually treat a disease rather than pills, rather than intravenous. Cool stuff.
That sounds like a beautiful future. I can't wait for that when we're starting to use food to heal us officially. That'll
Right.
be a nice, beautiful, beautiful day. Dr. Joel, thank you so much. You've always got such great information for us. And for the rest of you, give it a try. I know I'm going to get online and order one of these Prolon diets, and I'll share with you my results in a few months. We'll see
Thank you.
another one of these. Thanks, Dr. Joel.
Bye-bye.